Righto, let's get into it. This is going to be a walk around of our SAILFISH S8. So when I first got this boat, there was a couple of plans to do a few upgrades and stuff to it. If you haven't seen our first sleepover mission in this boat with the fam, I'll put the little vid down here, you can go and check it out. But I've finished all the upgrades and the little mods and little tricks and treats, and now it is an absolute weapon of a boat, mate. I'm going to give you a quick walk over the whole thing, and if you've got any comments, questions and feedback, let us know in the comments. But I'm stoked, mate. For me, this is the ultimate offshore boat. You probably asked me, like, why an S8? Why'd you end up getting a SAILFISH S8? It just suits my needs, mate. So the size of it, it's over 8 meters, but it's still trailerable. 2.5 meters beam. You got sleeping area underneath. You got heaps of fishing space out the back. You got kill tanks and eskies and all that. I'll show you all that stuff, but just ticked a lot of boxes. Hey, price point was good, and just its capability to go offshore and be dry and safe, and heaps of room for the kids in that. So I tested a heap of other boats and cats, and I just found that this one suited my needs, and I really liked the feel of it. It just felt right. So I think that's probably the biggest thing with boating, and a bit of advice, you just got to find what suits you, mate. It's going to be different for everyone, so whatever suits your needs and you're comfortable with, go for it. But I'm bloody stoked with this thing. Well, I did say I wanted to do 3 upgrades to this thing, right? They come pretty well spec'd out. What I wanted to do was put an electric motor on the bow, because I love spot locking and fishing, and fishing the flats and stuff with the electric motor. I wanted to put some flooring down to keep it cool and insulate the cab and make it soft underfoot. And I wanted to upgrade the battery system, which I needed to do for not only a Lecky, but for doing offshore missions and a few days away to run fridges and sounders and all the electronics and stuff, all right? So I finished those 3, and I'll show you what they are. But at the front, we might as well start at the front, the Mini Kota. I've got, there it is. It's a Mini Kota, it's a Kota Instinct Quest. It's a 100-inch shaft in the black, and when I was looking for them, they're pretty new. They've only sort of come out this year in 2024, because they have the auto deploy and all that sort of thing. It's the upgraded model from the last one. So I did the ring around, and I found a fella called Tim from Tackle World Bundy, and he helped me out. He said, yeah mate, I'll see what I can do, I'll ring the rep. And what happened, they found one at another boat factory that was ordered for a customer, and they changed their mind, and so I got mine. They didn't want it anymore, so I got it for a little bit of a discount, because it was an unwanted item, but it's still a lot of money. They're about $11,000. Hey, hopefully they come down in the future, but I can tell you from my point of view, it's worth it. For this thing to be able to spot lock such a big boat in all conditions, still pull it along at like 6 to 8 mile an hour across the flats and stuff, it's really bloody good. And the safety factor of not having to get out of the cab when you put it up and down, mental. So anyway, I'll show you how it goes up and down right now. Auto deploy, auto stow. So you just have to go into the menu and then hit stow, and this thing will come up on its own. Huge shaft on it, 100-inch shaft, just so you can get enough of the shaft and prop in the water. Look at it go. And then it just lays itself down. Boonk. Happy days. Stows itself away for next time. And then when you're in the cab and you find your fishing spot, all you do is grab your remote and hit deploy, and up she goes. It'll go up, and then trim the shaft down to the predetermined setting that you've set it at from the last time. Boom. You can also, if you're in shallower water and stuff like that, you can go into the settings and trim it up manually. Trim it up a bit and then trim it down a bit. Pretty sick, eh? What I had to do though to fit the motor on the front was I had to modify the front of the bow. So I've got a local fella who's a fabricator, and we just modified the bow rails a bit, cut them out of the way, and then he made up this big plate that bolts onto the front and welded it on. Then I just painted it in some Raptor coat and we bolted the motor straight to it, so it fits perfectly. And then as the head comes up and stows automatically, it comes and lays down on the side of the cab. And the motor does come with its own support block, so that's just mounted here, and it just sits there, mate. Happy days. Goes up and down at the push of a button. It's that bloody good. So that is mod 1, done and dusted. An expensive one, well, they're all bloody expensive ones, but it's done and I'm loving it. All right, mod 2, while we're here, I'm walking on it. Have a look at it. There you go. Now the joys of buying a second-hand boat is you don't get to pick the paint colour. And a black or a graphite boat in Queensland probably isn't the best choice because it gets really bloody hot, right? So what I've done is I've got Dan from DC Deck Co, and he uses U-Deck. Alright, it's time to get into it. Job's on with the Sailfish. Have a look in here. Say good day, Dan.
G'day.
Everything's cut and done. Dan's from DC Deck Co, if you remember, but he come over a while ago and we 3D scanned the whole boat for new flooring, and now we've packaged it up and it's all cut, ready to go. We're going to prep the inside of this and install it, and we're going to show you how to do it because we've only got sort of half the kit. Dan's going to show me how to do it. We'll do the main deck and the gunnels and stuff, and then I'll fit the other package when it shows up, so I'll be able to do a bit of a DIY for it. So we will do the front deck and the roof as well, but this is what it's going to look like. This design, it's going to be nice and cool underfoot. It's a 6mm foam, nice and soft to walk on, non-slip. It's going to make that boat look pretty bloody good, don't worry. Alright, I'll steer you for a couple of minutes, mate. Talk me through a quick process of how you install this stuff, like preparation wise, and then fitting, and then sort of care and maintenance of it afterwards as well.
So prep, just a good freshwater wash, and then a wipe down with acetone.
Yep.
Prep the deck. Installs just a peel and stick with a 3M, it's got a 3M PSA adhesive on it. Yep. So peel and stick, roll it down, go around the edges, and that's about it really. You got
a roller that you roll?
Yeah, so we roll it, and just gets the air out from underneath it.
Sweet.
And then, yeah.
That's it?
That's it pretty much. And care and maintenance is, you can use Morning Fresh to give it a clean.
Oh, like detergent, just detergent stuff?
Yeah, yep, it's biodegradable, just anything sort of, you know, water safe. Yeah, no acids or anything like that.
Yep.
Yeah, sort of once a month, give it a clean, and that's about it. Done. Other than that, she's maintenance free.
Sweet as.
Yeah.
All right. So, now, the talk price wise, so you get a full boat like this done, so this is an 8-metre boat, your standard sort of package, what would that be?
It's about between 4.5 to 5.5, depending on how far you go. Yeah. So that's about the sort of, would be the...
There you go.
Yeah.
So ballpark figure for this sort of boat, or a 7-metre boat, a bit less. I'm going to take some before and after photos so you'll be able to see the whole difference from above with the drone and that. Anyway, so that's how it all works. He comes out and uses his machine, beep, 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 goes home, cuts it out on a CNC thing, and then sends it out. Done. Or they fit it for you. But I've gone all the way from front to back. So under this, it used to just be paint and non-stick stuff, and it'd get really bloody hot and still slippery in summer. Now, it is gold, mate. I've got this all the way up the front. Got it up on the roof here as well, so you can walk up. Get right up on the roof here, walk around. Now the kids bloody love getting up here, jumping off the roof. And it used to be slippery with just paint, and it used to be really bloody hot. Now, mate, I won't get them off the roof. It'll be gold. And I'll also, if you can believe it or not, I stand up here with a fishing rod and my Mini Kota controller around my neck, and I can fish the flats and like spot fish, catch trout, catch red throat, all from the roof of my boat. It's good, eh? That's another good thing about cats, mate, is they draw bugger all. So this thing's got a draft of about 400mm, which is gold when you're out fishing the flats. So that's mod number 2 done. The flooring, or the roofing, whatever you want to call it, it's everywhere. But it's crazy, it makes this thing so damn cool and so much more usable, because you can walk all over it, fish all over it, and the kids can jump off anywhere they want. Let's go and see number 3. While I'm sliding down the windscreen, I did get the windscreen tinted as well, because it's such a big bit of glass and it's on an angle. It used to get quite hot through there. So when it was in getting serviced, I just got a mobile tint man to come in and throw a, I don't know what he put on there, just some percentage tint, but it makes it heaps cooler. The only one thing of the downside is it's not real good at night to drive, because the dark tint, makes it really dark outside. But I don't go fishing at night anyway, really. So, and if I do, I've got someone with me and they're just a spotter out in the front. And you can sit up on their bolster seat inside and stick your head out the roof here, so you can see. But I tell you what, for me, it's heaps better to have that cooler all through the day, and because I don't do much night fishing, so makes sense. Mod number 3, probably the most important one, because I wouldn't be able to do mod number 1 without it. But it is the battery and electrical system. Hey, what we're going to do is a bit of a battery upgrade in this SAILFISH. So at the moment it's only got 2 AGMs in the back and then like a crank battery for each motor. What we're going to do is going to leave the crank batteries as they are, but we're going to update the house battery system to 2 200 amp lithium batteries. So it's got to all be red arc gear. It's raining and wet out here at the moment, so I won't do it out there. I'll just show you in the cab here what we're going to install, and then I'm about to take it round to the auto lecky and we'll map it out, and once it's all done I can show you how it's all fit in here and how it works and how it's going to power everything up. Yeah, these are the same batteries that are in my ute and the caravan. So these are a 200 amp lithium battery from Red Arc. We've got 1 of those, 2 of those, and as you can see, I'm going to look up the specs and show you, but that's a 200 amp battery. I reckon they're like 20 kilos, I don't know, maybe a bit more. I had an auto electrician or marine sparky fit it all off for me, and I'll show you where it is. He's done a bloody good job, and it all tucks away super nice, super neat, and just clean. That's what you want, eh? You don't want anything moving around, you don't want it getting wet, you don't want any chance of having issues with it, because if it happens when you're offshore and you lose all your electronics and stuff. I don't know about you, I can use a compass, but I don't know if I can read old paper charts. Far out. In here is where all the magic happens, in this little Red Arc locker. Let's start in here, in these 2 hatches. You have got all these sort of controls and contraptions, and then in this side you have got the batteries. So like I showed you, we have got 2 200 amp lithiums in there. They're stacked in there nicely, they're running parallel so it stays in 12 volt, and then at the back you've got a little Bluetooth shunt that sends your state of charge and your battery charging status and that all to your phone via an app, which I'll show you. So a lot of this stuff in here was factory from SAILFISH, all the breakers and isolators. So what you've got is an isolator for each engine. You've got starboard, port, a winch isolator, emergency parallel, so you can connect your house battery bank to your start battery bank to start your batteries if they go flat. And then you've got a house one. So this is all these batteries here, this is the isolator for it. Now to come across here, this is what runs the Mini Kota. This is a Revolution Power 12 to 36 volt DC to DC converter. So there you go. What happens is you have battery power coming in from 12 volt and it comes out at 36 volt and goes straight to your motor. And then over here is what charges our batteries. We have got 25 amp DC to DC chargers, one here for the left engine, one here for the right engine. That way you get 50 amps of charge when you're cruising. So every hour I'm driving this boat, I get 50 amps of charge back into those batteries. Down here we just have a breaker for our house and a breaker for our electric motor. There you go. All neat and tidy, hey? I bloody love it. It's an epic setup. To finish it off over here, I have some charging points. So there's a house battery and a start battery charging point. I'll show you the charger when I get home. It's a magnetic Red Arc 10 amp charger. It slots on here. And then I've got 2 Anderson plugs here, and they are a house and a start, and they are a solar input. So I've got a foldable solar blanket I can plug into here, and that will charge either my house or my start battery bank. And then start batteries are in here. There's just one for each engine. They're just like a big marine start battery in there. Too easy. There's a fuel filter for either side, one in here, one on the other side. And that is it. All right, so that's the 3 mods done. Super stoked with it, super happy with it. I don't really know what else I could do to make this a better boat, rather than get one even a bit bigger, maybe like a metre or 2 bigger, a bit wider. I don't think the wife's going to allow that. Yeah, anyway, what I'll do is I'll give you a quick walk around the rest of the boat and show you everything I love about it. I haven't used this reel for a while and it feels like it's going to seize up on me, eh? Oh man. Catching cobia solo gets bloody difficult, man. There's another one hanging off him too. There you go. Ah. Still green. Don't want to bring these guys into the boat too green because they go nuts. Oh man. Alright. Let's see if we can get him. Yep. Twist on you. Get out. Try and get the rod in the rod holder. Flip the bail over. Unravel the gaff. And then lift him in. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Number 2. I'll bleed this guy straight away. I put him in my storage bin down here. So what's really good, I keep the bungy in one of these kill tanks, bleed them in there. I don't undo the bung until I leave, so then I flush the blood out on my way. So you don't get sharks coming around your fishing spot while you're still catching fish. Well, I can stop fishing today. That's heaps. In you go, boys. Good example of why the deck wash is good. All this cobia blood on the floor. Since I put the flooring on, I've had a lot of people ask about how it goes with blood and all that. If you get it off pretty much straight away, or the first sort of 5-10 minutes, it's all good. If you leave it on there all day, then you might have to use a bit of detergent and stuff and give it a scrub. Let me show you why I reckon it's such a good boat. It's because of the layout and the functionality of it, alright? So let's just do the fishing section, or the back deck. So like I said, it's 2.5 metre beam, but because it's a cat, it's got really straight sides, yeah, because you don't have like a V'd hull. They've got like come straight down and then to the sponsons. You've got so much space, hey, so much usable fishing space. It's absolutely gold. And this catwalk out the back with the dive door and the ladder, man, it's like one of my favourite spots to fish, just out the back here between the motors. It's gold. That's a proper red dog. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chriso. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, so come through here. What you've got at the back is a couple of seats, or trolling seats. They're great for when you're trolling. Lads can sit out here, watch the rods. You're in a bit of cover, a bit of shade. Got a drink holder beside you. The rod holder's just there. So it's a really good boat for that, like social days with the mates, when you're just like cruising, trolling for mackies and that. Oh, yes! Double! We got a double! Oh. Go, son! Where's the old, yeah, oh, yeah, just sitting on the chair there. Oh. And with the autopilot, you can sort of just stand in the door here and walk between, and the autopilot holds you in a dead line. Like, it's great, mate. Absolutely love it. So we've got these 2 seats here, and they're sitting on top of 2 storage boxes. So this one, I modified it, just had nothing in it. I'm not sure what they come with from factory, but it sort of had nothing in it and it was useless, and I needed somewhere to store some more tackle. So I'll show you what I did here. This guy. So I'll put the details up. Have you heard of a mob called Plastech? Anyway, before I open it, I measured this up and designed what I wanted and sent him some sketches, and he just sent me back a draft and said, yep, this is how much, and I went, done. So anyway, have a look in here. It is a custom tackle locker. How good's this? So I made it so it holds 2 of these big boxes down the bottom, the deep Plano storage boxes, and then 3 of these up the top here, so you can fill them with whatever you want. You can twist these and it locks them so they don't slide in and out. And then this side is 3 little shelves, so in the bottom, little tray full of snapper leads and that sort of stuff. And then in here I've just got some plastics and vibes, and then the top one is all my leader. And look at this, I made a little hole here, so you just pull your leader out. I always use 80 pound. Pull your 80 pound leader out, however long you want, and then just loop it through this first light cutter and cut him off, and then shut him. And you've got your leader. It's one of my favourite things, and from memory it's about 1,100 bucks. It wasn't cheap either, but the function it gives you and how easy it makes fishing is absolute gold. Now, I touched on that first light cutter. Bloody, I'll show you this. First Light Fabrication are a mob on the sunny coast, and they make heaps of cool marine gear. They do a lot of stuff like mounts for electric motors and all that, but they also make, all I've got is this bit, here's this puck, but they make this handy little storage thing that holds your pliers and your knife and your scissors and everything, but I've got it in the other boat. So it's good because it's interchangeable, but not when you leave it in the other boat. So I'll put in a photo on that so you can see what they've got, and we've also got a discount code for their gear. Great fella, local on the Sunshine Coast, so it's good to help out and support local business as well. But yeah, get around it and check it out. These guys, have a look at this. First Light Fabrication. Actually, they do gaffs, they do spear gun holders, they do all this fancy gear. I like it. Hey, all right, so that's one tackle box, and then I'll come and this is another one of my favourite parts of this boat, is for the fishing layout. At the back here, you have got your bait board and cutting board, and it also has a 2 drawers tackle storage underneath, which I always keep just light sinkers and that, which I've left at home, but mainly this, just hooks and swivels and all sort of terminal tackle. But once you've got the big stuff out of the main box down there and you've got your leader, you come and stand up here and you tie your rig, and yeah, you've got everything there that you need before you drop over the side. Now, great bait board, you've got heaps of room here to cut your fish, bait, fillet fish, and it's got this, you got a deck wash on this boat and a freshwater pump as well with a tank. But the deck wash, so turn him on and you got salt water, so every time you bait up you just sort of flick that on, wash your hands before you drop. If you do that, like, mate, you should see how much of a difference it makes, and you're not getting like dead squid and pilly and grubby stuff all over your gear. Having that little deck wash there is gold. And just to wash down fish and clean that board at the end of the day. A couple of rod holders on it as well, and then I've also got a little tackle sort of storage thing on the back that came with the boat. I just modified it and cut holes in it to fit my gear, but that works. And then you got your deck wash hose here, so that's for cleaning fish and washing down the boat and blood and stuff when you get them. It's absolutely gold. Now this side, this one and the little sink, you got a little Stano sink in the corner, and then you've got a freshwater pump. So when you're finished, I always use this, like not only at night time or lunchtime when you're washing up to have lunch and stuff, but every time I move fishing spots, I get some soap and wash my hands properly with some fresh water. Then when you're back inside touching all your electronics and your sounder and everything, you're not getting all salty screens. And there is a shower tap hooked up with the fresh water at the back here. I'll grab it out. Oh, this one here. That just lives in a little storage hatch there, and then you come up the back here and have a shower over night time. Nice fresh water before you go to bed. And I'll just show you quickly on this right hand side of the boat, you got a little space here to hang a couple of fenders. Yeah, I've got another little storage door here, so there's a few shelves in here, and what I keep in there is just like spare gas canisters for the cooker, a bit of WD-40, spare bungs, some gloves, yeah, just a bit of random stuff, a bit of storage. And then you come down this way, this is good too, you got storage for spear guns, gaffs, there's one of those poles to pick up your mooring buoys. But yeah, just more storage. Sick, eh? Let's come down this side. So if we open this little hatch, inside is a fridge. This one is a 40-litre fridge on a slide. Bring him out, I've got nothing in it. But that I just use for food, mate. Load up a heap of food and stuff, or drinks for the kids maybe if we're going out for the day. That lives in there. I would like to put a bigger fridge in there, like a 60, but it doesn't quite fit. I'd have to try and modify this box somehow. But that is one thing I would like to do. This is one of my bags. It's actually a Stone Guard Buddy bag off the front of my caravan, but because they're this PVC material and that, they fit really well in the boat, adjustable straps, and it's great for a bin. So I just hang one off there, and for a day or two, that is a great bin for cans and bait packets and line and all that, just to keep the rest of your boat nice and clean. So yeah, I'll put a link in for them too if you want one, because they are bloody gold. And then down this side, we showed you the sink, but that's a live bait tank. Nice big live bait tank. There you go. It's also got a light in it and a little glass window, so you can see the fishies swimming around and stuff. It's really good, mate, eh? I do a fair bit of live baiting out on the reef, so I try and get bait before I go out, so that's really handy. Now what you've got is 2 kill tanks. One here, they're either kill tanks or storage tanks, right? So one there. Now you lift him up and open like so. They're super big. You can fit big mackies and cobia in, no worries. They go all out the back there. And what they have is bungs in each one. So if I put the bung in like this, then you haven't got much water coming in and it stays dry as a storage locker. If I want to use it as a kill tank and let blood wash out, you just undo this bung and it'll flood from outside the boat straight in, like so. Normally I keep this one dry and just keep all my snorkeling gear in it for me and the kids, fins and masks and all that sort of stuff. Just chuck that in there and lock him up and forget about it, like so. And I use this one over here as my kill tank usually. Now another good feature of this thing is it's got a heap of lights on it, so you're not going to see them real well during the day, but I've got some LED downlights in the cabs. There's one up under the front there, and you come out the back, there's like a little 4-spot floodie out here. Then you've got some LED light bars up in the top corners here, one there and there. You've also got under gunnel lighting, you've got a bait board light, and you've got an underwater light. So I'll see if I can find some footage of me using the lights at night so you get an idea of it. But there's also a good switch panel outside here. So it's got your deck wash, your lights, and underwater light and all that sort of stuff, all switched from the outside, so you don't have to come back into the cabin to put them all on. Come inside the cabin and I'll give you a look, mate. So as you come through, you have got doors here, so it's double doors and they lock back on some stainless hinges here. Good thing is with this, it's lockable, so you can store rods and stuff in there overnight when you're parked up, and lock it with a key, so everything's nice and secure. And then also, if it's real rough, or even if you're just cruising home, you can shut these doors, and when you're inside, it's so quiet. It's like driving in a Commodore. Inside, it's quite a spacious cab, eh? So it's a beam of 2.5 meters, this thing. It's got air pedestal seats on either side, which are comfy enough, and the bolster folds back as well, so you can slide in there in front of it, or if you're just cruising, you can sit it down and put your feet up. Nice comfy cockpit. You've got the dual binnacle there for the Hondas, the start switches down there, and then you've got a really nice array of a switch panel, all easily labelled, and for your lights and your anchor and your pumps and your wipers and washers and everything. You got the compass here. Then I've got, some of the electronics in this is unreal. Like, I haven't had a few things before and I'm loving it. So the Furuno is a TZ Touch 2. I don't know much about them, but it works for me and I can find fish. A couple of Garmin gauges for each motor, tells you your RPM and your fuel usage and everything. This thing over here is ridiculous. That's a Furuno autopilot and I'm in love, mate. If you've never had an autopilot, mate, go and try it. It's gold. And just be able to drive onto marks, set your heading, and then you just forget about the steering wheel and just control your throttles, mate, and you can just sort of cruise along. Lone Star winch in here, that's the breaker and the control for the big drum winch on the front. And then I've fitted it out with a couple of bloody stubby holders, a phone charger, Sirocco fan here, another one in here in the cab just to keep the airflow going, another stubby holder over here, and then you've got all this storage here. You've got storage pockets, you've got nice heap of room under there. I'll keep my cooker here, my June cooker, so you're cooking up some fish, little buddy marine oven, and I chuck in simple things. One of my favourite is, ouch, that's hot, the old chicken tenders. Slap it on a bit of bread with a bit of sauce, bang. Don't have to worry about bringing all this fancy stuff just for a fishing mission. And then you got storage under both seat boxes, so heaps, eh? I don't even keep much in there. I don't have enough bloody stuff to keep in there. This one I've got like safety gear and extra tackle, first aid kit, that sort of thing, and a heap of water. But yeah, so much room. It's crazy. Storage up behind here too. in here. Normally keep food and sort of cups and plates and that sort of stuff. And that there is a breather or a fridge vent. There is a fridge inside that box, which I'll show you outside. Anyway, that's the main cockpit. Up top you've got the Fusion stereo and radio, a UHF marine radio. Cockpit hatches, you can lock them up in position so you get heaps of airflow coming through there, and then when it's rough you can pull them down to stop any water coming in. So there you go, nice footrest. What I have done is I've put an extra fridge power here, so there's an ando there. I can plug in a another fridge if I'm doing a long range trip and sit it there, like another 40 litre fridge can go just here. And then swing into the bedroom. There you go, heaps of space, eh? There's always 2 beds sort of made up, 1 bunk either side. I've slept a couple of blokes in here, so you can fit 2 lads down here. And then I've got an infill piece here, and we put another cushion there, and then me and the missus and one of the kids can sleep in the centre here. Under here is a dunny. It's a dunny there, it's flushable, it's direct discharge out the side. And then in there is a water fill point for your windscreen washer. So that's about it. There's your windscreen wiper up there. There's a light under here, nice and bright. Come around here, the Sirocco fans, I put them in myself. They're unreal, just to keep an airflow. You've got a couple of little porthole windows there you can pop, which let lots of air in when you're anchored up. And then there's just storage galore under the seats. So if you have a look at all the space under there, that's under each one of the cushions. So I've got so much storage, mate. Happy days. In behind this little curtain here, everything comes pretty bloody schmicko, eh? This is straight out of the factory from Sailfish, all this stuff. All the extra bits I've put on are external out there. What? Wow, heaps of room. Hey, this is a bloody new addition, and it stemmed from running out of room for fish, catching mackerel and cobia that are too big from a small esky, and then also having beers and cans in the ice with my fish, and then every beer you get has fish slime on the top of it. So what I've done is I've grabbed these 2 Icy Tech eskies and I've fixed them together. You can take the top one off the bottom one, and then it's got a split lid like this, so you can leave the top one on, open this, put your big fish in, pour the ice on top, and away you go. Then this one here is purely just for drinks for the boys, so you come out on an overnighter or a big day trip with a few lads trolling and that, you don't have to open the fridge all the time, you just open this one, and there's cold tins in there, and you put the fish in the bottom one. Number 1. Number 2. Now, if you didn't know, cobia have got to be 75 centimetres, and you can have 2. And I'm bagged out, so I've got 2. It's a heap of feed there, right? And then I've got the fish in there, and I'm just going to pour my ice on top. It's such a big esky, I'll be able to bring out a few bags too and have plenty of spare. When you leave these bags, you keep them, hot tip, keep those bags for like fish frames when you get home. And you can go and chuck them in the bin at the boat ramp in them. Get a load of this. So much room in there. Yeah. And also Icy Tech have got these cushion, like these 3M adhesive cushions. Look at this, look how squishy it is. So I've put one there, and then that'll work as a seat. So when you've got an extra seat when you're traveling. And then the top one is a 40 litre box. Then all I've done is drill a couple of holes and Sikaflex some stainless wire through, then run a couple of tie down straps. I like it, eh? And then to get it out, because it's going to be so heavy and full of fish at the end of the trip, you can just undo the straps, take that one out, and then pick up the bottom one, take it out. And also I can use this top section as like a food prep area, so you can have like a cooker there maybe, or a cooker on the back, and then be use this as cutting up food and salad and that. Good setup. And that, I reckon, is about it, eh? It's got some good rocket launchers up the top. Always keep my gear up there. They're at a good height too, so I'm only like just under 6 foot, and I can reach up and grab these, no worries, and pull them out. Some boats, they're really high and you struggle to get them out. One thing I like about it too is the fact that, yeah, it's only 2.5 wide, but I've told you how it's like real wide because the cat and straight sides and that. But you've still got a good sized walkway. Like, I don't know how wide that is, but it's really easy. I'll show you, I'll do it one-handed because I'm holding this. You just step up here, grab the handrail, grab the next one because there's another handrail, and then just walk your way along. Like, you got heaps of room. Even if you're fighting a fish, you can do it one-handed. I can imagine holding a fishing rod instead of this camera pole, and then just walk your way to the front. It's great. Another good fishing spot's right at the front here, because you can lock your knees in under this bow rail and just start flicking. I reckon, guys, that's about it. That is a little tour of like what I think is the ultimate boat for me and the family, eh? I bloody love it. It's that good. So what would I change about it? Let's go there. I reckon the only things I'd change about it is the colour. If I was going to order a new one, I'd just get like a white one or a really light blue or silver or something, just to keep things cooler. I'd put this flooring on straight up for sure. I wouldn't use the epoxy stuff. Well, pretty much whatever I've done to it, I'd just get it done standard, and I would change the paint colour. That's about it. I don't think I'd change anything else. It's pretty bloody awesome. Oh, you know what? I was just saying, what would I change? I'd put more bloody cup holders in it. It's epic for rod holders. So you've got all these in-gunnel ones here. You've got 1, 2, 3 down the side, another one on the side of the bait board, then you got 2 down the back of the catwalk, and you got another 3 down this side. But what don't you see there is those recessed stubby holders. So I've only got 1 out in the back deck, and everyone always fights for that 1 drink holder, or you're going to leave them on the gunnels or on the esky and you always end up knocking it over. So I'd get a couple more drink holders fitted. Yeah, that's it. That's my S8. I hope you've enjoyed that. Might give you a bit of inspiration to go and build your own dream rig. Okay? I think, let me add it up roughly in my head. Second-hand boat, battery, a lecky, flooring. You're looking about 250 grand. Maybe a bit less. Yeah, I think. I hope it's not any more, because that's a lot of money, eh? Anyway, in my opinion, absolutely well worth it. I bloody love it. The kids love it. The misso even loves it. So it's a win-win for the whole family. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to catch a mackie. If I've forgotten anything in this vid, when I'm editing it, I'll add it in. I'll jump out in the backyard and show you through it in the boat. But probably one thing I would change in the cabin. I don't know how they do it. It's probably easy if you're a glassy, but I designed some windows so these open a little bit more than that. I'd like to be able to get my head out there and look out the side. Can't do that through this cap. Just needs a different design so you can slide them all the way back and then you can get out there. That'd be a good change.
We've come a long, long way together, through the hard times and the good. I have to celebrate you, baby.